Good morning, everybody. It is about 5:30 in the afternoon. We are not on the way to the gym right now. I know. What an asshole, right? Today's a rest day. I busted my ass at work this week. Busted my ass in the gym every day after work this week. I've been taking care of my diet every day this week. I've been doing everything good this week, right? And to be honest, I'm tired. And I am running out of food for my diet plan, and just instead of making my normal diet plan food tonight, I'm going to get something to eat. Keep it simple. Just explain it like that. So I'm going to get something to eat. Just going to a little restaurant, having a little food, a little cheap meal. Honestly, it's not going to put us too far over any of our calorie goals today. We're not going to be messing up the diet at all. It's really just not a normal, healthy, protein-packed meal like I would normally be eating. But, nothing wrong with that. So, I still wanted to film a video today on the drive over, and I wanted to, talk about a little something. I had an idea for a video today, and I wanted to use it up and not lose the feeling. So we're gonna start talking about this before you get too discouraged from watching this. I know it's already so far in, and I haven't said anything to keep your attention. Keys jingle jingle, keys jingle jingle. Gotta keep your attention, right? So today we're talking about falling in love with the work, right? Falling in love with that feeling of hard work and doing things that are hard and doing things that take, a lot of effort. Because I really believe that that's when you start to really be able to win at life in a different way. When you really reach this ability to not be afraid of doing the hard things and not be afraid of, really getting dirty, getting tired, getting beat up by doing work. Once you start to be able to do those things and not feel like you're being hurt in some way and not feel like it's against you, when you start to do these things and really feel like they're enjoyable, everything changes for you. And I really believe that's when you're going to start to achieve the things you want to achieve, when you stop being afraid of that hard work. The first thing that comes with that idea in my mind is, first off, the feeling of, especially if you're working something that's physical labor, right? This is kind of more what I'm leaning towards. That wonderful feeling of, your body aching when you get home and you finally sit down for the first time all day, in a proper chair, and you feel that load off of your back, and you feel that, and that relaxation. And you finally get to eat a warm meal, when you finally get done with everything. That feeling of being cold all day, especially if you're working outside in the cold, when you get home, that body aching, you sit down and you finally start to warm up, you take a warm shower, that satisfaction. I really don't feel like you will feel as good about being at home in your warm bed, in your warm chair, eating your dinner. That's not going to feel the way that it does after a hard day of work. And I'm not just speaking to blue collar, but I kind of am. That's kind of the only one that specific is going to apply to. But this can be about anything, about, working the long hours on your computer, doing, making content, or doing stocks, day trading, whatever it is you get into, doing real estate, making deals, selling a product, making, working on your online storefront, anything that you're doing, man. When you get to the end of that day and you finally completed the thing you're doing, how good it feels when you finally get to take a load off and relax after all that. You can't replicate that feeling, and you can't get that feeling by half-assing it, right? Because then you don't feel that real gratification, because in your own mind that you cheated yourself and that you didn't work as hard as you said you did, right? You're not going to feel as good about it. So, but it's kind of the begin with, to just kind of get you to understand why we're doing this, right? First and foremost, why we want to work hard is because we want to feel good afterwards. We want to feel that gratification after what we've done. So a second thing that I think really matters, and why you should want to start to fall in love with doing hard work, is, you know, if you make mistakes, if you slip in some way, and you know, you do something wrong, even especially in the work you're doing. If you worked hard all day otherwise, and then you made one little mistake, and it was an honest mistake, and, you know, just something that you didn't know well enough about, you made a simple mistake, right? You're not going to feel like the world's crashing down, and, you know, it's not going to get at you in the same way as it would if you weren't working hard all day. Right? If you know you were slacking off, half-assing everything you were doing all day, then, you know, you're gonna... If you know you were slacking off and half-assing the whole day, and then you made a mistake because you were slacking off and half-assing, you're gonna feel worse, right? And you're gonna feel everybody looking at you in a bad way, because honestly, if you're half-assing your work, everybody's already probably looking at you in such a way that they're not really happy with you, right? So you don't want that feeling. So, you know, try to remind yourself also that the more you work hard and the more you do what you got to do, to the extent you got to do it with no ifs, ands, or buts, then, you know, if something comes up and you make a mistake, you're not going to feel the pressure of it. Or even if you got to take a day off, right? If you get sick, or if something comes up, you got a family emergency, you got something to go do, and you got to take a day off randomly, you're not going to get this judgment from the people around you that you work with, you know, or people that are involved in that space. You're not going to get that judgment from them where they're going to look at you like, oh, well, this fucking guy, right? He's taking a day off. Look at him. You know, you bust your ass hard every day and you keep doing what you got to do. When you go to take a day off, more likely they're just going to go, damn, wish we had him here to help, right? Wish we had her here to help. I'm not being gender specific, but, you know, that's kind of... That's kind of something to think about and focus on that subject, is, you know, kind of building yourself up that credit of working hard enough that nothing can really, you know, shoot you down. A mistake won't kill you. You know, missing a day or having to take time off or do something, you know, you're not going to get that disrespect and that look from people around you, right? And honestly, in your own self, you know, you're gonna, in your own self, you're gonna feel these mistakes. You know, it's not always just with other people and how other people look at you, but your own self in your own life. If you slip up and, you know, don't stick to your diet plan, you don't work out that day, you do something you're not supposed to, it feels a lot better to have that situation when you know you've been doing right all along, right? If you know damn well you've been sticking to your diet, sticking to your workout, and staying on track for your fitness goals every single day to a T, then, you know, if you slip up and have a cheat day, you're going to be able to enjoy it. You're going to be able to enjoy, you know, knowing that you're giving yourself a reward for all the hard work you've done, and you're not going to sit there and tell yourself, oh, this is just another day that I'm cheating on my diet, and it's just another time that I can't stick to the plan I told myself. You know, it all comes together. I think that the more you feel like you're working hard and doing what you got to do in life, the more you're going to feel joy in those moments of taking time off, taking a little break, doing something for yourself, and even, you know, buying something for yourself to reward yourself. You know, spending a little extra money on something that you wouldn't normally, but it's for a reward for yourself because you know you've worked hard for it and you deserve it. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of the extent of that topic. I think you understand what I'm saying by this point. So, you know, do better, and, you know, if something bad happens, you're not going to feel as bad about it, and it's overall going to make for a more comfortable and more enjoyable lifestyle. You know, now that you understand all redundant to everything I've said, but I mean this in a different way. You know, really get excited about the fact that you are about to do something that's really going to test you, right? Get excited about the fact that, you know, this next task you got to do is really going to test your limits, and it's really going to, you know, make you tired. And I think the part of it that you should get excited about is about knowing how you're growing from it. You know, if you're doing something that's really going to hurt, you know, not hurt, but something that's really going to make you tired and, you know, get your muscles sore, you should get excited about the fact that that means you're growing. That means that you are going to be stronger in the future because of that soreness and because of that work you put in. You know, don't be afraid of the pain. There's a great saying, I'm sure you've seen it on your you know, in your high school gym where they have the posters up with these sayings about sports and about whatever. There was one in my gym in middle school, the weight room where we trained. There was a poster up that said, pain is just weakness leaving the body. Wow, right? Fucking wow. What a saying. And, you know, you can say it's cheesy, you can say it's corny, is whatever it is, you know, and when I was as young as I was and I saw it, you know, I was like, oh, haha, blah, blah, blah. But really, I mean, you know, it's starting to become abundantly apparent that when I feel pain in my body or pain mentally, I know that it is the weakness leaving me. You know, the next time that I am faced with this type of pain or this type of situation, I'm going to be stronger. And it's not going to affect me as much because I've dealt with it already. So start to get excited about and fall in love with that idea of, you know, every time something's hard, it means I'm getting better. I'm going to be better next time. I'm going to be stronger next time. Every time your hands get so torn up, you know, from your grip all day working, doing something, you feel like you're going to get blisters. Be excited about the fact that now you're going to have stronger calluses on your hands, and, you know, the next time you go to do work, your hands aren't going to hurt. You know, that's just an example, but all of these things, you know, if you're having to lift something heavy over and over and over and you're just getting so exhausted, just know that you're training. You're almost working out in a way, right? You're getting your body stronger to be able to deal with that in the future even better. And, you know, like I said, also mentally. This is a big thing mentally, I think. When, you know, you feel all torn up because somebody talked down on you or somebody made you feel bad. Somebody judged you and you didn't like how that felt. That's just the weakness leaving you, man. That's just, you know, you had to feel that pain. So now next time when somebody judges you in the same way, hopefully, if you're going in the right direction, you're going to laugh at it. You're going to be like, boo-hoo, I felt that before. You know, try something new, buddy. You know, your elementary school bully calls you the same name every day. Kind of loses its value, doesn't it? You know, it kind of gets old. You kind of look at that bully like, get a new line, buddy. You know, try something new. And argue at the wall. There's differences in everybody and there's differences in situations. And I'm sure you can tell me that everything I'm saying is wrong in some way or another. But I know it's fucking right in the way that I mean it. Okay? So, just understand what I'm saying here a little bit and realize what I mean. You know, when you feel this pain of something, when you feel, you know, embarrassed, when you feel sad, when you feel hurt, when you feel, you know, this, when you feel these feelings, come to the realization that it's making you better, it's making you stronger. So, in that way, with what I mean there, get excited about doing something hard. Get excited about doing something that's going to embarrass you, that's going to make you feel scared. Get excited about getting rejected by somebody, right? That's a fucking hard one. Get so excited about the fact that you're gonna try and possibly fail, and that's gonna make you better. You know what I mean? Like, these are the things that's gonna make us stronger, make us better into the people we want to be. This is a recurring theme on my channel here, and I'm gonna talk about it over and over again, and I'm not done. I'm not done at all. I'm talking about making us into the people we want to be, making me into the person I want to be, at least, right? I don't want to spend my whole life being the same person that I had been in the past, making the same mistakes I have, being hurt by the same things I have, being physically as weak as I have been. All of these things, I want to grow and get better, so I get excited, and I really, I yearn for the moment that I get to test myself and push my limits and do something new. I yearn for the ability to try something new and fail at it, because then I know I'm that much better. So, yeah, you guys get the gist. You get the idea, all right? You understand what I'm saying. So try something that scares you. Try to push yourself. Try to do hard things. And, I think more directly, specifically, I'll say here, this situation of, I'm going to say specifically the situation of being at work and that one task comes up that you hate, right? You hate that task, and you hate having to do this thing. Insert fill in the blank, this thing. I hate having to do that. God, every time I do that, it's so blah, blah, blah. It's so tedious. It's so this. It's so that. Get excited about doing it next time. Just change your fucking perspective, man, because that's all we can do in life. That's all you can do ever with anything, is when you're not happy about the way that something is, if you can't change the way that it is, you can only change yourself. You can only change how you take that information, right? So change it in yourself. Decide for yourself that you're not going to let that bother you in that way, and that you're going to change it into something exciting and fun. If there's something you got to do where you feel like you got to, this work is so slow and tedious, and I just have to do this over and over and over again. Get excited about the fact that it's something that you know how to do well, you know how to do consistently, and you can just mindlessly do over and over and over again. Reframe it, change it in your mind, and get excited about these things. Feel more, joy about these things. Change your mindset today, as soon as you can, right away. Change your mindset and think about some things in a different light. Get excited about doing the hard thing. Get excited about taking the chance. Get excited about the possibility of failure, because that failure means that you're growing and you're learning. You're getting better. Get so fucking excited to, I don't know why I'm thinking of this specifically, but the Wright brothers. Right? You know who the Wright brothers are. You know the story of how many times they tried to get a plane to fly. How many fucking times they, did their thing and tried to get a plane to fly. All the videos of them out in that field trying all these different designs, it's really something fucking beautiful you should think about and look at when you're thinking about the subject of trying something hard and failing at it. Get excited about the fact that what you are trying and failing at may end up being one of the biggest fucking empires in the world, dude. Airlines, air travel, dude, planes, the company Boeing, the 747, that fucking plane, that came because somebody had so much perseverance and so much effort towards something that they just would not fucking give up, and they knew they could fucking get it to work, and they kept fucking trying, and every failure just meant they learned one more way it wouldn't work. Get so fucking wrapped up in that idea, dude. It's fucking beautiful when you start living your life with these archetypes in mind of these, these heroes' journeys. The hero's journeys. That sounds weird grammatically, but get so fucking excited about living life the way that somebody great did and following in those footsteps, not exactly, but in the mentality way. Think about a time somebody you look up to tried and failed at something that they loved and they finally made it happen. How beautiful it is for you to look at them and see that story. Why the fuck aren't you doing it for yourself? Why the fuck aren't you getting so excited to wake up and do the hard work and keep pushing through the pain, pushing through the struggle, pushing through the failure, doing something to get fucking better every fucking time? That's all I got for you. I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna stop ranting here. I don't have anything else better to say. So yeah, that's really it. I don't got nothing else, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm lost right now. I've been taking random turns down back roads because I'm not sure where I'm exactly going. The restaurant I'm going to, I do not know the location of. And that's fine. That's fine. You know how fucking fun this is? I'm seeing all sorts of new shit. Saw a bunch of cool houses, saw a bunch of cool shit. How fucking pretty damn okay is it that I'm a little lost right now? I fucking love it, man. Get excited about getting lost. Don't mind me, I'm trying to back up. And I'm still talking. I'm still fucking talking. You know why? Because I love this. I love what I do here. I love the work. I love talking about the stuff, This is something that really gets me going. I'm a certified D1 level yapper, bro. I always will be. I always have been. And this is what I love doing, so I get so excited about the process. Fall in love with the process. Fall in love with your own creativity and your own ability to try new things, do new things, create new things. Never fucking stop. That's all for today's video, guys. You guys have a great night. Thank you for watching.